It's subtle, almost invisible, but you felt it. Like when she laughed a little too loud at your joke, then quickly looked away. Or that split-second pause in her text before she finally hit send. You probably thought, she's just being polite, nothing more. But what if I told you those moments were her craving your emotional attention? Not physical, not just attraction. Something deeper. And most guys, they miss it completely. Because these hidden clues don't look like desire. They look like distance, distraction, disinterest. But they're anything but that. Did you even notice the way she lingered? If you've ever second-guessed a moment like this, comment the last time you felt that hidden tension with someone. Stay till the end. The final clue changes everything. You walk into the room. The air feels thick with noise, laughter, casual conversations. But underneath it all, there's something else. Something quieter, almost invisible. You scan the room, eyes darting for signs you've been taught to look for. A playful smile, flirty body language, obvious glances from across the room. But tonight, nothing. Or so it seems. There she is, sitting quietly in the corner, scrolling through her phone, almost detached from everything. You glance her way, but she doesn't even look up. In your mind, the conclusion is instant. Disinterest. Boredom. She's clearly not here for you. But what if I told you that right now, she's more tuned into you than anyone else in this room? Look closer. Her body may be facing her phone, but notice where her knees are pointing. Subtle, but angled toward your direction. Her fingers scroll, but her ears, they're locked on your voice, subtly reacting to your every word. That slight shift in her posture when you speak louder, that's not random. Most men, they walk right past this moment. They miss it because they're looking for fireworks, not shadows. And here's the brutal truth most guys never realize. Women don't crave attention the way men expect. It's not always about bold moves or loud signals. Sometimes it's about silence, about restraint, about playing the invisible game of emotional craving. See, her scrolling isn't disinterest. It's protection. It's the shield she uses to hide that tiny spark of hope inside her chest. The hope that you'll notice her without her having to make it obvious. And here's what's really wild. She wants you to catch it, but she'll never spell it out for you. You probably think, come on, why not just say something? But here's what you don't see. This isn't just about attention. It's about emotional safety. She's not testing your eyes. She's testing your intuition. Is he sharp enough to notice what's hidden? Is he calm enough to act without desperation? Is he the kind of guy who sees beyond surface-level signals? You're starting to see it now, aren't you? Most guys, they miss this entirely. They walk away, convinced she wasn't interested. But you won't, because now you know where to look. Next time you spot her quietly scrolling, don't focus on the phone. Watch her body angle. Watch how her energy subtly leans toward you, even if her gaze doesn't. That's your cue, because the game isn't played with words. It's played with attention. Silent, magnetic. Invisible attention. And you're finally learning to see it. You're sitting there, probably at some dimly lit cafe, the kind of place where the air hums with quiet conversations and the faint clink of coffee cups. You're halfway through your drink, not really paying attention to anything in particular. And then it happens. Out of the corner of your eye, you catch her looking at you. It's quick, barely a second. Your brain doesn't even have time to process it before she snaps her gaze away, pretending to scroll through her phone like she's checking some urgent message that just happened to pop up right then. And right there, you make the mistake almost every man makes. You think, oh, she must have just been looking around the room. Total coincidence. You shrug it off. Go back to sipping your drink. Maybe even convincing yourself you imagined it. But here's where the trap gets set. 17 seconds later. She looks again. This time, it's softer, slower. Her gaze lingers just a little longer than before. Maybe 2 seconds. Enough for your eyes to meet. Enough for your chest to tighten with that electric question. Wait, did she just look back? Now here's the psychological truth nobody tells you. This isn't just a random look. This is what I call the double glance trap. Women, especially those who are emotionally curious about you, often won't give you the luxury of direct, obvious attention. It's too risky, too vulnerable. Instead, they play a delicate game of push and pull, where their glance becomes a test. The first glance? That's instinct, uncontrolled. She caught herself staring and quickly looked away to protect herself from seeming too obvious. But the second glance, that's deliberate. That's her subconscious craving slipping through the cracks of her self-control. She's wondering, did he notice me? She's hoping you did, but terrified you'll see too much. And here's where most guys completely fail the test. They ignore it. They look away too quickly. Or worse, they overreact, making some awkward move or creepy grin that shatters the tension. But not you. Because now you know exactly what's happening under the surface. She doesn't want you to chase her like a fool. She wants you to match her subtlety with your own calm, quiet confidence. So here's your move, and it's simple. When she gives you that second glance, the one that lingers just a beat too long, you hold her gaze. Not aggressively, not with some fake alpha male smirk. Just steady, present, locked in. And then, you add the final touch, a slight, knowing smile. Just enough to suggest, yeah, I saw you. But playful enough to keep it light. That's it. No words, no overthinking. Just an unspoken message between two people tuned into the same hidden frequency. Because the truth is, most guys never even see the double glance. But you're not most guys anymore. Next time you catch her looking. Back twice. Don't flinch. Hold steady. Smile softly. And just like that, you've stepped into the game she secretly hoped you'd play. You're standing in a group. Maybe it's at a house party, or at some rooftop bar where the music is just loud enough to blur the edges of every conversation. You're talking, casually telling a story that, honestly, isn't even that funny. Maybe it's about the time you got stuck in an elevator, or how you once ordered 12 tacos by accident. The kind of story you tell just to fill the space. And then, there it is. Her laugh. It cuts through the noise. Loud, clear, and somehow, a little too much. She's laughing harder than anyone else. Leaning forward slightly, eyes sparkling like you just told the greatest joke she's ever heard. And in your head, you think, okay, she's just being friendly. No way that was worth this reaction. But let me pull back the curtain for you. That laughter? It's not about the joke. It's not about humor at all. It's about emotional craving. Women often use laughter as a socially acceptable way to release nervous energy and attract attention, especially in group dynamics. When she laughs too long, too loudly, or too easily at something you said, she's not trying to compliment your comedy skills. She's inviting you into her emotional space. Her laugh is a signal flare, designed to draw your focus toward her, to create a connection without having to spell it out directly. It's easy to miss because it feels playful, casual. You tell yourself, she's probably just extroverted. That's how she is with everyone. But watch closely next time. Is she laughing that way with everyone, or just with you? Watch how her laughter lingers after the moment has passed. Notice if she keeps glancing at you afterward, almost as if to see whether you're enjoying her reaction. What feels like her boosting your ego is actually her trying to get your attention. And here's the move that separates the men from the boys. Don't try to outjoke her. Don't double down on the humor. That's where most guys mess it up, trying to impress her even more. Instead, lean back slightly. Pull away just a bit. Let her lean toward you to keep the connection alive. Because when you stay calm and centered while she's laughing like that, it shifts the energy. Suddenly, she's the one chasing your approval, not the other way around. Next time it happens, and it will take a breath. Smile. Let her laugh. Then lean back. And watch her lean in. You're starting to notice the hidden games now, aren't you? It always starts the same way. You're staring at your phone, waiting, wondering. You sent a message hours ago. Something simple, playful, maybe even clever. And now, nothing. No reply. No typing bubbles. No little dots teasing you with hope. You keep checking, opening the app, refreshing the chat. Still nothing. And your mind starts spiraling. She's probably busy. She's not interested. Maybe I said something wrong. But let me tell you something most men never understand. That silence isn't always rejection. In fact, sometimes it's her loudest emotional craving. This is what I call the testing the waters text delay. See, when a woman craves your emotional attention, she won't always jump to reply. Not because she's playing games out of cruelty, but because she's carefully, deliberately measuring her next move. Here's the truth behind that delayed reply. When she feels emotionally invested, when she's unsure of how you'll respond or worried about seeming too eager, she often pause. She hesitate. She overthink. Her mind floods with questions. Should I wait a bit longer? Did I sound too eager? What if he thinks I'm too available? It's not about ignoring you. It's about protecting her emotional position. That's why, after hours of silence, her reply comes in carefully crafted words. Overly polite, thoughtful, sometimes longer than necessary. You can almost feel the effort dripping off the screen. And yet, most men completely misread this. They assume it's a lack of interest. They panic. They double text. Or worse, they get passive-aggressive, pulling back in frustration. But here's the truth most guys never hear. Her delayed reply isn't a signal for you to chase. It's a test. A quiet challenge. She's watching to see how you'll handle the tension. Will you stay calm and unbothered? Or will you fold under the pressure of the unknown? And this is where you flip the script. Next time she delays, and trust me, it'll happen again, you match her pace. No rush, no anxious energy. You mirror her timing, keeping your replies light, playful, almost teasing. You create space for her to lean in. Because here's the magic no one teaches you. When you stop chasing her attention, she starts chasing your emotional stability. She'll feel it. She senses it in every calm, confident message you send. And that craving? It'll grow stronger. So, the next time she leaves you hanging, don't spiral. Don't overthink. Smile. Because now you know. She's not ignoring you. She's watching. You. Let her wait. Keep it playful. Mirror her energy. And watch how quickly the dynamic shifts in your favor. This isn't just texting anymore. This is emotional chess. And you? You're starting to master the board. You're at the bar. The night is humming. Soft lights casting shadows across the room. Voices blending into a steady background buzz. You're sitting there, maybe sipping your drink, feeling the weight of the glass in your hand, casually leaning back into your seat. And then, something small happens. You shift in your chair, crossing your leg. A comfortable move, nothing more. But a minute later, you notice she does the same. Crosses her leg. Same direction. Same pace. Coincidence? You think, nah, that's nothing. Just random. But is it? Here's what most men never realize. Physical mirroring isn't a conscious decision. It's an instinctive behavior, deeply wired into our psychology. And when a woman starts subtly mirroring your movements, it's not by accident. It's a silent reflection of emotional craving. Think about it. We mirror people we feel connected to, people we want to bond with. It's our body's way of saying, I'm with you. Without a word, you lean in slightly. Watch her lean in, almost without noticing. You sip your drink, and seconds later, she lifts her glass to. It's easy to overlook because it happens under the surface, in tiny, almost invisible ways. But once you know what to look for, it's impossible to unsee. She mirrors your posture not because she's mocking you, but because her body is subconsciously syncing with yours, trying to align her energy to yours. And here's where the emotional contrast kicks in. You think she's just getting comfortable, maybe even distracted. You tell yourself, she's probably just relaxing like everyone else. But what's really happening is this. Her body is leaning toward you before her mind is ready to admit it. Most guys, they don't catch it. They keep talking, keep shifting, completely blind to the dance unfolding right in front of them. But now you're different. You're watching her moves with new eyes. Here's your move. Next time you notice her mirroring you, don't rush to break the moment. Instead, deliberately shift your posture, slowly, confidently, and see if she follows. Cross your arms. Tilt your head. Lean back slightly. If she follows, even in small ways, you've just uncovered her hidden craving. And the best part? She won't even realize she's doing it. That's the beauty of this clue. It's subconscious, raw, unfiltered. And once you spot it, you'll feel a surge of quiet power, knowing something most men never do. You're not just seeing her actions. You're seeing her desire. That's the difference between a guy chasing attention and a man who knows how to attract it. You're learning to spot the signals buried in plain sight. And trust me, this one changes everything. It's late in the evening at a social event, maybe a casual party or a chill gathering after work. You notice something strange. Every time you move to a new spot, she's there too. Not by accident, but by choice. She happens to be nearby, not talking yet, not initiating, just lingering in your orbit. You tell yourself it's coincidence. Maybe the room is small. Maybe she's just grabbing a drink or checking her phone. But the truth is sharper. She's placing herself in your personal space without saying a word. This is one of those subtle, quiet clues almost every man misses. She's not making a scene. She's not throwing herself at you. She's doing something much more powerful. She's inviting you into her emotional world by shrinking the physical distance. You might see her standing near the back patio, pretending to scroll through her phone. You move there, and a few minutes later, she's there again, pretending she didn't just follow you. It's a silent conversation without words. A test of your awareness. Most guys wouldn't even notice, or they'd get creeped out by the perceived stalking. But you recognize the signal for what it is. Emotional craving disguised as casual proximity. Why does she do this? Because emotional connection doesn't start with loud declarations. It starts with presence. Shared space. The simple act of being near someone you want to feel close to. But here's the kicker. She's waiting to see how you respond. Does her closeness make you uncomfortable? Do you retreat? Or do you lean in and engage gently? This is where many men blow it. They get nervous or try to force a conversation that feels unnatural. The result? She pulls away, but you're different. When she's near and the moment feels quiet but charged, you take a deep breath. You make eye contact. You give her a small smile. No pressure, just acknowledgement. Then, you start a low-stakes conversation. Something light. No heavy topics. No trying to impress. Maybe a comment about the music, or the weather, or a simple question about her night. This isn't about grand gestures. It's about respecting her silent invitation and meeting her there. Because when you do, you break the invisible wall. You turn that quiet proximity into connection. And that, my friend, is where emotional craving begins to become something real. Most men never get this far. They miss the signs. They miss the chance. But you won't. You're tuned in now. Next time she lingers close without words, don't ignore it or panic. Lean in, calmly, confidently, and with genuine interest. And watch the space between you shrink into something electric. It's late. The kind of late where conversations drift into quiet spaces and the noise of the world seems distant, almost irrelevant. You're sitting across from her, maybe sharing a drink or just leaning against a railing watching the city. Lights flicker. The mood feels easy, comfortable, but then suddenly, she says something unexpected. A small confession. A childhood fear. A past heartbreak she's never mentioned before. Nothing dramatic, just a moment of raw honesty that catches you off guard. You think, why is she telling me this now? It feels personal, intimate, maybe even risky. That's because it is. This is what I call an emotional vulnerability bid, a subtle test wrapped in honesty. It's her way of reaching out, asking silently, "Are you safe enough for me?" Without saying it outright. Most men don't recognize this. They either rush in to fix the problem or nervously change the subject. They treat vulnerability like a conversation killer instead of the key to deeper connection. But you get it. You know that when she shares something vulnerable, she's trusting you. She's opening a door that's usually guarded tightly. And that trust? It's a sign she's craving emotional attention. She's searching for someone who won't just hear her words, but will truly listen. So here's your moment. The move that can change everything. Don't just nod or offer empty reassurance. Lean in with your presence. Let her feel seen. And then, when the moment feels right, share a little vulnerability of your own. Not some grand confession, just a small, genuine glimpse of who you are beneath the surface. This isn't about oversharing or trying to impress. It's about matching her courage with yours. Meeting honesty with honesty. That exchange. It's electric. It's real. It's the doorway to something deeper than casual attraction. You might wonder, what if I say the wrong thing? What if I seem weak? Here's the truth. Real strength is in emotional availability. When you respond with calm confidence and authenticity, you become the man she's been quietly hoping for. Most guys run scared from this level of connection. But you step forward because you're not just looking for attention. You're ready to give it, to receive it. And that makes all the difference. So next time she lets down her guard, don't flinch. Listen. Engage. Share a piece of yourself. You're not just building attraction. You're building trust, and that's the foundation no one else sees but you. Look back at everything we've uncovered so far, the hidden glances, the laughter that says more than words, the silence in texts that's loud with meaning. It's like you've been handed a map to a secret world that most men never even knew existed. This world isn't about grand gestures or desperate chasing. It's about quiet, powerful signals, the kind that only the sharpest guys pick up. Now, imagine walking into any room and seeing those clues everywhere. The way she glances at you twice, the way her laughter lingers just a beat too long, how she subtly mirrors your every move without realizing it, the way she accidentally ends up near you again and again, and the way she lets her guard down just enough to share a glimpse of her inner world. These aren't just random moments. They're emotional beacons, invitations to a deeper connection. But here's the real power. Once you know how to spot these signs, you don't just react, you respond. Calm, confident, and intentional. You become the man who's not chasing attention, but commanding it with ease. Because emotional attention isn't given to the loudest or the most aggressive guy. It's given to the one who understands it, who respects it, And who meets it with presence? Ask yourself, how many of these moments have you already missed? How many signals went unnoticed because you didn't know what to look for? Now, you won't miss them anymore. You're not just a guy she notices. You're the guy who notices her. And that changes everything. So here's your next move. Pick one of these clues, focus on it this week. Watch for it, journal it, own it. Because every time you catch one, you're rewiring yourself for emotional intelligence, for deeper connections, and for true attraction. This is just the beginning. You've stepped into a new game. Play it well. You've just unlocked the 6 hidden clues she's craving your emotional attention. Now, let's lock them in. These are the moments most men miss, but you'll never overlook again. First, the double glance trap. That quick look away followed by a second lingering gaze. When she does this, hold steady, smile softly, and let her know you see her. Second, those laughs that linger too long. Not just a friendly chuckle, but laughter that stretches, inviting your attention. When you hear it, lean back and watch how she leans in. Third, the testing the waters text delay. When her replies come slow, carefully crafted, not ignoring but measuring. Mirror her timing. Keep your tone calm and playful, and let her chase your stability. Fourth, the subtle physical mirroring. Tiny movements matched unconsciously, like crossing legs or sipping drinks in sync. Shift your posture and see if she follows. It's her body saying, "I'm with you." Fifth, seeking shared space without words. When she lingers near you without speaking, quietly inviting closeness. Don't panic or ignore it. Instead, acknowledge her presence with calm confidence and light conversation. Finally, the emotional vulnerability bits. Those rare moments she shares something personal, testing if you're safe enough to handle real connection. Listen deeply, then share a little of yourself. Remember, these signs aren't about grand declarations or obvious flirting. They're the silent language of emotional craving, quiet, subtle, and powerful. Keep this checklist close. Watch for these signs and notice how your awareness changes everything. You're not just playing the game anymore. You're mastering it.